Yeah, no, it's fascinating to watch. I mean, I know you speak about growing up a lot as well,
Mhm.
and I feel like this is forcing us to look at aspects of ourselves we didn't want to probably look at for quite some
Right.
time. And I'm also aware as well that from I remember our last podcast we did, Tom, and we spoke to almost the essence of it all, which was love versus fear. And I think
Mhm.
that's something we can certainly lean into in these times as well, because it can be very difficult sometimes, obviously, when we're caught up in fear, to even come back and step back and look at a big picture viewpoint
Yes.
of
Yeah, and that's
things.
yes, that's a very good point. That's another big lesson we have. Not only do we have this lesson in sharing and caring, but we have this big lesson in fear.
Mm,
Fear is never helpful, and you should not stay in your quarantine and not go outside because you're afraid. You should stay in your house in your quarantine because that's the right thing to do. That's the smart thing to do, not because you're afraid to go out. You see, the fear is never helpful. Some people would say, well, it's only because everybody's afraid is why they stay in. So fear is a good thing. No, fear is not a good thing. If you stay in only because you're fearful, you'll be one of those people that after it's over, you won't learn anything. You won't have learned a thing. You won't grow up any. If you stay in because you see it's your responsibility not to keep feeding this thing, then you'll learn something from it. That'll be very positive. It's a good thing. So education is good. Fear hurts in many ways. If you fear something, you immediately raise the probability of that thing you fear happening. So it's more likely. If you are fearful, your biochemistry shifts into the fight or flight mode because of all the tension and stress you're feeling, and that immediately lowers the effectiveness of your immune system. So those two together are a powerful match. You raise the probability of being infected when you lower your immune system's ability to deal with it. See, those two are really a 1-2 knockout punch. Not good
totally.
things to go together. And the last thing that's bad about fear is that fear is infectious, just like this virus is infectious, just like being positive is infectious. So if it's all about fear and you read all fearful things and it's all about fear, 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 then not only you're helping it become true and lowering your immune system, but you're passing it around. You're making that fear dominate. If that fear dominates, then we will have the worst possible experience, not the best possible experience.
Totally.
So you need to stay positive. And to stay positive, you need to accept things the way they are. It is what it is. Deal with it positively. Accept it. Okay. Don't take unnecessary risks, but life is risky. You have to take some risks. You may have to go, uh, you may have to go to grandma's house just to help grandma with something she can't do. Well, maybe you'll just have to be smart. Grandma may have to go sit in her bedroom while you come into her house, and you may wear a mask, and she may wear a mask, or
Mm,
whatever. And maybe you fix the furnace for her, or fix the air conditioning, or do some plumbing, or do something for grandma that was something that was difficult for her to live with. But you do it as safely as possible. So you take risks, do what you have to do to help people, and accept whatever happens. Okay, you took that risk, and what if on the way there, you somehow caught the virus? Well, all right, deal with it then. Take yourself away from everybody else, go someplace else, don't infect the rest of your family, or send them someplace else if you have someplace else to send them. Go spend time with grandma. So, but you have to accept risk. You have to know that life is uncertain. You have to live gracefully with that uncertainty. And if things happen, they happen, and you just deal with them.